Yo, yo, yo. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode. We are coming off the end. If you maybe are just checking in, didn't watch last episode or whatever, for whatever reason, I highly suggest going back, at least watching the very last show where we crowned a new champion, and not just a new champion, but the first ever two-time champion of the promotion, Architect. He beat Pappas Wool in the steel cage match um, after basically weeks and if not months and months of back and forth. An Architect, being that, like I mentioned before, the thorn in the side of Papa's Wool, he finally overcame him, gets his belt, as he would say, gets his belt back. But for today's episode, my main focus is much, of course, we're making money, 4.5 grand last month, which is huge. We still need to get our monthly profits to around 8K before we introduce Wrestle World, because as well as introducing them, which I never even mentioned before, we also will need a play-by-play commentator and a colour commentator, which I do have one or two in my short list, but we'll go over that when the time comes and maybe have a little look together at some of the people. But that'll obviously cost us a little bit more money. Speaking of signing, I'm actually bringing in some new faces. Now, obviously, we have the complaint of being left off shows turned off, so I can really sign as much people as I want and not worry about them complaining about being left off shows. I don't really want to do that though. I kind of like to try and use everyone on the roster. It'll be a bit easier when we have a much more structured monthly layout, like a monthly schedule, and we're doing TV shows in an event very similar to like the WWE, or in the game, pretty much most of the American companies do it that way. They do a weekly TV show with one event per month. Um, but Roger Montero is the first one. If you're familiar with Auspicious Aussie, who does really good local to globals, I'm pretty sure his local to global on this edition of the game, he has Roger Montero. The only reason I'm drawing a blank is because I haven't saw the videos in a long time, and of course the renders are also different on my game. But I'm pretty sure it's this guy, and he is good. I don't necessarily have a plan for him in terms of, he's not going to take over our company and be the top guy. But the reason I brought him in now is he is obviously, he's good, very good in the ring. He's like a solid Jules Knight or um, Remy, but he's cheap. He's only going to cost us $40 a show, which is really good. You know me, I like those cheap deals. So we'll see how it goes for him. He's easily marketable and passes on knowledge too, and he's lively, which is a pretty decent personality trait to have. So we'll see how he does. It'll take him a while to settle in, especially with the 9 popularity in the Great Lakes. But on top of him, we also bring in a tag team. Now, a cool little side note to these guys, it's a nice little feature, is they're actually the first ever openly gay wrestlers. They're engaged to each other, which I thought was pretty cool. Cool little touch. Both of them are very cheap because they don't have any pop in the Great Lakes. But the reason I'm bringing them in now, they're both young, they're both 24. They're also actually the Mid Atlantic Tag Champs, which is something, but they're actually pretty decent. Lachlan is the one who has, like the charisma and star quality, but he's the one who's lacking a little bit with fundamentals and primary, but they are only 24. He also probably has the best attributes. He's creative, he's a dynamo, easily marketable, gymnastic background, and he's the tag team specialist out of the two, and he has a very good personality type. Whereas Byron is the one who's a bit better in the ring, also 24. He already has 72 psychology, 69 technical. His fundamentals are already all there, but performance-wise, charisma, star quality, all that good stuff, he has none. And his attributes are still good. He has driven, which is actually pretty decent, and he's a workaholic. But no stunts and stuff, no comedy matches. But I'm excited actually to use these two, bring them in and see what they can do. They'll also, the main reason on top of all that is we have two face tag teams, one being Hangman and Dragon, but we don't really use them as a tag team a lot. We're keeping them individuals, so that will add to the actual units, We'll treat them as a tag team, which I'm looking forward to. And the thing I want sorted this episode is Marco Gonzalez. He is still annoyed from his unsuccessful character idea, even though I've gave him two since then, or before and after, sorry. I just gave him one at the start of the month, hoping it would fix it. And the reason I'm trying to get him on good terms is because I noticed, even though I probably knew before and forgot, he has 72 booking skill. So I want to add him to the booking team so we can generate more creative points before every show. But I don't want to add him until his morale is better. So one thing I actually am been meaning to try, and I thought we could do it together since we're now making a bit of money, even though it might be a bit stupid at this time, is I'm going to give him a bonus of $1,000 and see if that also helps. So I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I'm giving 1,000 to someone. It has boosted morale. Oh my god, it has worked. He's pleased. So in that case, then my goal for the episode's already done. That's good. That means I can just end the episode here, right? I guess. Booking team. Where is he, Marco? It says his quiet personality might not be suited, but I don't know why it wouldn't be. We're going to add him anyway, just to see. Because I believe 72 would be the second highest. Oh, he's even with the historian. Yeah, let's add him. So now we have 4 on our booking team. We have my avatar, the GM, and then we have the doc, the historian, and Marco. We'll see how that goes. I believe he has like a probationary period, so it won't take effect straight away. But yeah, that's pretty good actually. I didn't think that would actually work because the character ideas didn't, but I guess everyone loves money, so of course it's going to work. But we're going to jump straight in here. Advance ahead since the show is tonight. We'll see what the new champion architect's got to say, maybe what Papa Swole's got to say. Of course, in the contract signing, Papa Swole made it so that past champions, after losing their belt, they basically don't have the right to a rematch, which of course is in effect now. He's essentially cucked himself a little bit, which isn't great. But I wanted to get rid of that, so I needed to do it in like a storyline type of way. We have 410 fans expected, slightly more than last show, which by the way, last show, with Papa Swole losing his belt to Architect, that's also our best ever show we've done. So we're really smashing it pretty much every single time we're putting on shows. They're just getting better and better. Yeah, so Marco's only generated 28, which I believe is because he's like still adapting to the role. But we actually got so he receives a 25% little voice reduction due to their quiet personality. Well, why did it not tell? That's a bit annoying. It only told me he might not be well suited because of his personality. It didn't tell me he's going to get a 25% reduction. That probably would have changed my mind. What the hell? They also get a 25% team member reduction just because they aren't the head booker. He also gets, so the finding his feet reduction, Marco also gets because the initial 60-day probationary period in effect, which is fair. Oh, we actually received a 20% bonus because Historian, his great booking chemistry with Gonzalez, that was quick. That was literally in the space of a couple hours because we just added him to the team. I don't really see any morale issues, which is good. But yeah, our final store amount's 178, which is really good because I used all of my creative energy last show to the point where we had none left. I think we literally, I think it was 3 or 7. So generating this much when Marco is technically going to give us a little bit more later. This is good. I'll take it. What we do need though is more creative finishes because yeah, we used them all. A bit of a gamble is fine. We'll keep it, but let's try get another one. Okay, near certainty with no restrictions. Good. That can be for our main event tonight. And I also want. I actually want an angle for tonight. Big gamble for the architect. That's nope. Discard. How much points do we have left? Oh, we don't have enough. Damn it. I wanted to use it. Okay, whatever. Do we actually have one stored? No, just those creative finishes. Fine. It is what it is. We are generating a lot of creative energy, so I'll take it. It's not bad at all. Hambone Freeman has turned up and requested to be allowed to hang out backstage. He's unemployed. Who's this guy? Oh, he's a rookie. He's only just came into the game. Does it say when? No. Must have been pretty recent though. Hambone Freeman, he's 22. He has the grifter personality. What does that do? To the carnival days of wrestling? Always up to some sort of scheme? Well, he's not unhappy, so he shouldn't have a negative impact. I think we can just let him come in. Oh, maybe not. He's kinda. Nah, I think we'll just leave it. There's no point. We don't need to take the risk. Is he any good? No, not really. No. Sorry, go away. Anyway, Blue Dragon brightened the backstage area by simply being so cheerful and fun. Architect trains the Doc and Zippy. The architect has been talking to Zippy Deverell a lot recently and seems to be having some degree of influence on his behaviour. I don't know why, but reading the first part of that message, I thought he was about to take Zippy under his wing as like his like apprentice or something, which would have been pretty cool. I've not had anything like that happen yet. Right, I think we forget about team bonding right now because Sasquatch is still being a little bitch basically. Let's do I can't believe we can now inspire but couldn't do it last show. We must have just missed out on it, which is really annoying. Let's pull a rib. We'll pull a rib on I don't really. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to pull a rib. It's never. I feel like it's never ever worth it. It's never worth doing. You're basically fighting fire with fire. Right, pre-booking is done though. There's one segment pre-booked for this event. No, there isn't. Or that'll because I think I ended up not using it last show with the steel cage. I'll need to get rid of that. But anyway, enough chit chat. It's time to book our first show of the episode with our new champ. Okay, here we go. Show number 1 of the episode. We're starting off strong with a Papa Swole introduction, basically addressing his title loss. We also have some filler matches between there and then as we slowly start to creep in to not only a blueprint interview, the new champ, we also have a number 1 contender triple threat main event to see pretty much he'll be going up against Architect. He'll be his first threat, you could say, to his title between Logan, Davis and Cobra. Davis and Logan obviously recently have been going back and forth a fair bit, fighting against each other, so we'll see how that goes, how that plays into the match itself, if at all. But in front of 411, so we've jumped up by about 15. I think it was 399. So we're only up by 12, which is actually, we kind of, in the last 3 or 4 shows, our attendance is, rather than going up by like 10, it's been going up by about 40. But now it seems to be back down to about 10. But the Boom Shakalaka Baby, which of course was Papa Swole's champion, ends. The storyline is over with this segment. He basically just comes out, addresses the crowd, they're all cheering him, they all still love him. He's basically just apologising, he feels like he's let them down. Basically what you'd expect from like your top babyface. He obviously knows now he's not entitled to a rematch against Architect, but he's glad because he wants to prove himself again. And if that means working his way up from the bottom, just like he did the first time around, he'll do it again. Because he takes a lot of pride in being not only the champion of PWW, but your champion, as he points out to the crowd, very generic, playing it up in a sense. So he basically is announcing essentially he's taking no time off, he's going straight back to it. He'll do whatever it takes to prove why he should be at the top. Great promo though, 66 rating. The Shaka Laka storyline ends, but we get the crowd hotter, show off to a strong start. As we move into a 37 tag team match, we have Zippy and Doc teaming up again. They seem to be kind of best buds recently, the two goofballs, and they actually also win, which is a bit more rare. Usually they're teaming up, yes, but winning matches, no, not really. But they win here with a roll up when the Doc gets the pin on Marco, gets the crowd hotter. I mean, 37's not horrible. I think right now our pop is about 28, so as long as the match ratings are over 28, and ideally the in-ring performances are over that too, then I won't complain, not yet anyway. But Marco gets the lowest, being off his game, 38 for the Doc, 31 for Zippy, 35 for Aid. Pretty much as you'd expect, nothing too out of the ordinary. A bit unlucky with the Marco being off his game, but the Doc and Zippy get the win here. Much better here, wow. 50 rating. We get Stevie Stanley in action against Jules. Jules gets the win as well, with a time for bed. It's a bit of a rare win for Jules. He's one of more of our solid workers who can make anyone look good, essentially. But he gets the win. 50 rated match. Solid. Mid-40s up pretty much for both guys. I'll take it actually. Very good. Moving into even better with Remy, the other sort of generic good worker. He's up against Miller here, and it's Miller who gets the win. In just under 12 minutes, 54 rating, so we're slowly going up here. These are solid, considering who we got in action. It's a good win for Miller though, to try boost his momentum and keep pushing him forward. He's not really someone we'll push too hard, Miller, because he is good like in the ring and stuff. But outside of that, he doesn't really have any charisma or any star quality. Like, he doesn't have that it factor about him. So in terms of us giving him a really hard push seems very unlikely. But he usually pulls in around 50 ratings, so he's been solid since he's came in, and he gets a solid win over Remy, who actually beats him in in-ring performance. Then we actually have a backstage segment with the two goofballs themselves. They get a 51. They're essentially backstage in the locker room, goofing around as usual, like just talking absolute shit. And then they kind of both at the same time kind of realize, like, oh my god, we won tonight. We could be like the it team, We could take over the promotion. And it's essentially them like agreeing. There's a crowd probably are just shaking their head and laughing. They're essentially agreeing to team up because there's obviously rumours. The tag team belts are coming to the company soon. What if we're the first champs, the first ever champs? We just won tonight. We can win against anyone if we can, they're just like, it's not taken too serious. Obviously with comic relief we did here, we're mixing it up. But a 51 rating, pretty solid. I do need to think of a name for them both. I don't know if I'll keep them as a unit. Their tag team will be a unit, or individuals. If they'll be viewed as one or viewed single. It's still sort of their own entity. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes for both of them. They're still young, and especially Zippy. He's very green, but they can pull in good ratings, especially with segments. As we move on to another 51, and it's the Architect. I mean, if you think about Architect, he's great on the mic. He's very over. And he does pretty much the same amount of time backstage. He gets interviewed, to be fair, but he pulls in the same rating as what Zippy and Doc get, then you can't really complain about that. And it's basically him boasting as expected. He's asked about what he thinks about Papa Swole's statements at the start of the show, and he says, he's over Papa Swole. Papaswol is like a little leech on his back, and he's swiped him off now. We don't care. We don't care about Papaswol. He can go do what he wants. The only thing I'm caring about is the main event tonight, which I will be ringside, where he'll be finding out who he needs to crush next, who him and the Blueprint need to crush next. He's almost overly confident because of all the backup he's got, essentially. But a 51 rating is also pretty good from our new champ. And speaking of the Blueprint, they're in action next. 54 rating, solid. And it actually ends in a draw. Obviously, we have the history with the past masters, Historian and Sandman. They fought against the LA Stars, and they were essentially losing, but they cheated to win. And obviously, so they've got a lot of sort of tension between them. The rakes here look pretty decent-ish until we get to Sasquatch. But the match ends in a draw after it descends into chaos, which, surprise, surprise, it's all because of Sasquatch again. He seems to be very bad. He has a very short fuse. He's not very good at controlling his emotions, and it shows here. After almost 15 minutes, he just loses it, essentially. He gets a really low rating, which is quite a surprise considering there's no penalties for him. Usually he gets about mid to low 40s. 39 might be his lowest yet, which is a bit weird. He works for IPW outside of our company, and right now they have a broadcasting deal with WrestleWorld, so no matter how we book Sasquatch right now, his pop's going up like everywhere in America at the end of every month. He's almost into like the mid 30s, which is quite wild. I'm surprised his rating here isn't a little bit better, but it's essentially the team of Mutant and the LA Star guys who carry this. Mutant gets a 59, 58 for LA Star 2, 56 LA Star 1, yeah, huge. They're the MVPs here. 54 of those pretty solid as we now have, with Architect ringside. Nice, our main event. I actually did not, I just realised there I didn't put a creative finish on this, and it still got a 64, which is annoying. It probably would have got 2, maybe even 3 segment ratings higher. I'm such an idiot. Literally, as I clicked next segment, I knew straight away. Oh, I also forgot to mention from Architect's interview, our new storyline, 2 Steps Ahead, which is of course is a play on words. Not really a play on words, but it's almost like a catchphrase used very commonly by the Architect. He claims to always be 2 steps ahead. So our new main storyline, 2 steps ahead, with Architect as champ. And the best match of the night, which we leave till last, which I'm really glad about, it's worked out. Logan gets the win after he pins Cobra with a belly-to-belly suplex after almost 18 minutes. So this is really solid. Cobra almost hits a 62, which I'm quite surprised about. He held his own, really. 66 for Logan, 63 for Davis. Solid stuff. And the way I see this going is most of the fight is dominated by Davis and Logan, going back and forth. But with both getting so tired in all the action, it's Logan in the right place at the right time to pounce on Cobra. In terms of like being known and momentum and everything, Cobra's the weak link in the fight, and Logan takes full advantage by using him to get the win. But solid rating as we then have the title holder at ringside. Architect jumps in the ring, and they basically have like a face off. They're just working the crowd up as the 2 steps ahead storyline advances, as we have our 2 guys, our number 1 contender, Logan Willsbane, and our champion, the Architect, as we end the show on a 60 segment rating. Architect improvised well. Okay, I don't know why, but I had a funny feeling I was going to get the storyline penalised here. Even though I was doing it through like major angles, I just had a feeling it would stab me in the back, but I'm glad it hasn't. 61 overall rating. Highest attendance as well. Addressing the locker room, we're going to give it to Marco, even though we did get him on good morale finally. I'm going to just give it to him, and we'll give it to... We could give it to Logan, because he kind of carried a little bit, but I'd rather give it to someone... You know what? We'll give it to Remy. He takes loss after loss for us and is usually always the best guy in the. Both seemed pleased. We make $1,500 too. Nice, paying out about what we expected. 1,500 here or there. Our ticket sales are almost at 3,000, which is huge. Hopefully we can make. Last month, obviously, we made $4,500. Hopefully we can make even more. As the pop goes up to 28, we have no media scrum, of course. So yeah, pretty good show. The angles worked out pretty well. We did 4. Usually we hit 3. We have Logan as the new number 1 contender. We'll see how that goes with him against Architect. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. We're making money. Pop's going up, so we're just going to jump straight ahead and get straight in to our second show in June. Okay, we're back because we are advancing to the next show, but we have another pay rise request. It's nothing major. We'll give 75% for Perry. But the reason this is maybe a sign is because at the start of next month, I was going to go through our contracts and start offering written deals rather than handshakes. Basically, all of our workers are on handshake deals, but I want to going forward start doing written, especially with ironclad clause, so that for the duration of whatever contract we offer the workers, they'll be here for that duration, even if, you know, one of the big dogs come in and give them an exclusive. And if we also put it on ironclad written deal, they can't ask for pay rises. So we'll need to go through and see if we can lock some guys down who potentially might also ask for pay rises really, really soon. But we'll do it at the start of next month so we can gauge after Kickoff Carnage 43, which is at the end of the month, we can gauge how much money we made for the month of June. So far it's looking quite healthy. We should go up with ticket sales, but I also moved up our merchandise from conservative to normal. So it's not that much more. It's like $130 a week. So it's not major, but we'll see at the end of the month after the next show how the finances are looking, and then we'll go in and start working on written contracts only going forwards, and we can move past the handshake deals. Okay, here we go. It's time. Big show tonight. We got our champ Architect making the first defence of his title in front of a bumper crowd. Wow, okay, nice. This is big. As I mentioned before, we had a couple shows in a row. Our attendance, was jumping by about 40-50. Then it randomly stopped for last show. But if this is anything to go by, then it's jumping up again by a lot, which is good timing. Architect, of course, before I cut myself off, up against Logan Wheelspain in our main event. We'll see how that goes. Yes, generic. I can't multitask, as you can see. Unfortunately, the sound system that you're using for your shows is going AWOL. The live event can still go ahead, but there'll be a small penalty. Right, so basically, it's just a penalty to the show. So not only did they just forget the ring, send it to the wrong place, now our sound system's bugged. Alright, whatever. How much are we generating here? Oh, our final score is 217, and we didn't use any creative finishes. I'll need to remember to get them, so we don't need any more. Let's get an angle idea, try to get a good one, a near certainty, perfect. And we'll also go with maybe 1 or 2 character ideas. I do really like using them, especially on the sort of mid-card, lower-card guys who lose a lot, but I can keep their momentum strong. It means the ratings they're in for the matches are still pretty good. A bit of a gamble, fine, we'll take it. 97 points left, we'll keep them. Okay, so now that we have our tag team that I was talking about, they actually are also both getting trained. So the Architect has 4 students now. He's got Lachlan Barrett, Byron Holland, Zippy in the dock, who of course I still need to actually officially make them a tag team. I still can't think of a name, but I'll need to get that done soon. Small Boy brightened the mid backstage, doing several funny cartoon drawings of his colleagues. Alright, interesting. Oh, Josh Jacobs was brought before the wrestler's court accused of being absorbed by his phone when he should have been paying attention to a locker room meeting. I'm surprised Sandman Winks, of all people, is the judge on this, but he found him guilty and sentenced him to buy a crate of beers for the locker room. And it had a small positive impact. Okay, good. That's good. Locker room is over. Team bonding. Let's do it again. I still have Sasquatch who's angry, and I feel like he's going to not be. Yeah. So Sasquatch and the historian created tension. Also created new tension between Davis and Sasquatch. We really need to try and fix that. Maybe I'll try and give him a bonus of 1,000. But yeah, he's really. I'm pretty sure he's obviously not happy about losing to Hangman all that time ago when Hangman came back. No, sorry, not came back. Right before he got injured, we let him beat Sasquatch out of pretty much pure rage for injuring and sidelining his friend Blue Dragon. And I think I kept him strong. Everything. He really was not. He's infuriated by it. He's really not happy. Anyway, let me get on here, book the show. We'll see how much your attendance is. If we actually do pull in about 470 people, that would be huge. But I'll be back momentarily. Okay, we're back. Show is booked. The workers we showed earlier in the episode are all debuting tonight. We got Logan. He's up against Architect in his first defence of the Great Lakes Championship title. We got Papa back in action. We're trying to mix up our promos too. Why are we loading? Never mind. Right, let's do this. First though, to know attendance. Okay, nice. Holy moly. We got actually more than we were expecting. Our attendance has just jumped by, I think, about 70, 69, 70. So this is huge. Not just the biggest attendance so far, but another huge jump, which means huge rise in ticket prices too, which is perfect. Or not ticket prices per se, but the amount we'll make from the tickets. But we start off the show with a rare match instead of an angle. It's not often we do this, but it's pretty much a one trip to hell here for Aid Nelson. He gets dominated. Running big boot finish. Sasquatch picks up another dominant win. He seems to be much better just 1v1. Sasquatch's ratings aren't necessarily getting better, which is a bit of a disappointment with how good his popularity is rising. He's actually not bad. Like, he isn't a bad wrestler at all. So the fact that he isn't really improving in that is maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but it's a bit of a question mark. I'm not really sure why. Because he even gets a bonus for because he's a he has the squash master attribute. Well, I mean, penalised for odd face and heel combination, that's not too bad. Penalised for his poor gimmick, maybe. Oh, and low morale, I guess, too. Okay. He was penalised for physical condition. What? Alright, fair enough. Maybe there's more than I'm thinking about here. Maybe things like morale and stuff have much more of an effect on their in-ring performance than I thought. But anyway, he gets the win. Decent start to the show as we then move into a 46 from Cobra, of all people. He is pretty decent on the mic. He has the performance skills. He's essentially just working the crowd, making his entrance before his match. 46 is good though. I'll take it. And the match itself gets a 53. Oh my god, hold on a sec. Oh, this is music to my ears. Oh wait, no it's not. No it's not. So, the match gets a 53. Jules Knight and Cobra actually defeat Hot Property on their debut. When Byron Holland was disqualified. Okay, no, I put it on cheap win, but That's not, that wouldn't have happened. Probably not. But anyway, it's a cheap win, but it's Jules Knight and Cobra who get the win. Both hitting above 50s here too. Jules 51, 53 from Cobra. And on their debut, it's Byron, who, of course, we looked at, is in the ring pretty much a couple steps ahead of Lachlan. So he gets a 45 to 36. Now, they obviously get the tag team specialist bonus, but they showed excellent chemistry teaming together, which will give them even more bonuses, which is great for us. And I've also just discovered, which is the reason I do these sort of random tag ups, Jules Knight and Cobra have excellent chemistry, which might be something we play into, because I don't know how many random tag matchups I've done, and I think maybe we've had one, and it was with Blue. I think it was actually Blue Dragon and Architect. Out of all the people I know, the two people who like hate each other the most, and there's so much like history between the two of them already. But this is huge. But the reason I was laughing is because both gimmicks get awful, which is the worst. It's the worst rating you can get for your gimmick. So that's going to have a huge effect on their overall performance. They'll get penalised for it. Although large boost to psychology is really good, and a large boost to microphone. I think actually Lachlan's the one who can talk out of the two of them. So this was almost perfect. This whole segment. The only thing, of course, is the gimmicks. Apart from the gimmicks, this is literally, it couldn't have gone any better. So I'm not going to complain, but it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Hopefully they can get the gimmick rating up, but on their own. But with Byron lacking charisma, it's not looking likely. I think that has that can have a big effect on it. You know, like their entertainment skills essentially can help them get their gimmick over, but that's not the case with these guys. But their debut overall goes pretty good. If we just don't look at it. If we don't look or think about the gimmick issue, it doesn't exist. That's the way I look at it. But good match, and I'll need to keep in mind Jules Knight and Cobra. Then we move into backstage, 60 segment rating here, with the two goofballs, Zippy and Doc, and they're sort of just chatting. And as they're doing their thing, you know, being idiots basically, Papa Swole walks by and they stop him and they're like, "Oh my god, it's you, it's Papa, it's the champion of our company. I feel honoured." And Papa's like, "I don't have my belt." And then Zippy is basically everything Doctor says, Zippy just like repeats. And then they're saying how we're a huge fan, we've been following you from the beginning. And Zippy's like agreeing, even though Zippy just joined the company. But either he's just like, yep. And then they're like, "We need your help. You know, we could form our own group and fight back against those monsters." But Papa is like rolling his eyes and just shaking his head, trying not to laugh, basically. And then they ask Papa, "Can you help us? We're in action tonight against one of your arch nemesis." And Papa basically just says, "You know, I got my own battles to fight, but good luck to you guys." And he kind of laughs and walks off. More of a comic relief type angle, as these guys are very good at. These segment ratings will help these two guys grow too, even though in the ring right now they're very green. So I'll take a 60 rating. Okay, we have another debut here. We have Roger Montero debuting his American Eagle gimmick. Ooh, marketable gimmick. We'll sell more merchandise. That's good. Rating wise, it's not amazing, but it could be worse. And unlike the tag team debut, Roger actually wins. He beats Josh Jacobs in 10 minutes with a pinfall using an eagle chop, and he pulls in a 38. That should rise, I'm pretty sure. It's just because he's not known at all in the Great Lakes, but it should 100% go up, especially if he has some good momentum behind him. We don't necessarily have a plan for him, but to use him as like a solid in-ring worker who'll be pretty consistent is something that can definitely happen. So we get a 41. Moving into a 51, speaking of, after the dog was asking for help to fight Papa Swole's arch nemesis. Not really. Papa's just realising that these two guys live under a rock, and it's the Doc against Sandman when Sandman beats him with a deep sleep. 48 for Sandman, 42 for Doc, not bad. Pulling in a 51 overall. But it's another win for Sandman. No real test, you could say. when he comes up against the Doc. Then we move into right before our co-main event. Oh, I'm actually kind of surprised. Davis is decent on the mic, but the fact this is now the best rated segment of the whole night when we had the likes of Doctor and Papa Swole in one, I'm quite surprised. But Davis Wayne cutting a promo before his match. He's in a 3 vs 3 co-main event up next against Papa Swole as well. Papa Swole is in the match, just basically getting himself over. You know, as much as Davis has been a little quieter recently in terms of fighting for the belt and stuff, make no mistake that in the ring he's one of the most dangerous, and of course our first ever champion, and he of course fighter of the year on our first year too. And let's see if he can prove it after that great promo. If he backs it up with a good in-ring performance, we do pull in a 60. Yeah, this is solid stuff. We also had of course, the LA Stars and the Minnesota Awesome in action, and those guys are all also very good. The LA Stars almost hit 60 as Papa Swole. It just outshines Davis with a 64 to Davis's 63. And we pull in a 60 segment rating. Superb wrestling, great heat. Davis Wayne and the Minnesota Awesome win when Davis Wayne Newton pinned LA Star 2 after using a foreign object. So they do cheat to get the win, but it's the heels who get the win. So Papa Swole on his first match since losing his title, he spoke about he let everyone down, he let the fans down, he's going to work his way back up, do whatever it takes. And his journey back to number one contender has started off with a very big roadblock as he's lost here. But very good rating overall. Good win for Davis as well, trying to keep his momentum going, even though he cheated. It's a solid rating for him, solid segment rating. And of course, his promo did very good too, so no complaints as we move into our title fight, which gets a 72. Oh, they have good chemistry and it lifted the match. Okay. I don't know if a 72 is our highest. I think it's tied for our best ever match. It's low 70s anyway, but exceptional match. The Architect beats Logan in 16 minutes 14 seconds when Logan was counted out after being attacked by Sandman Winks. The Architect makes defense number 1. So on his first defense of his title, he's already cheating to win. Surprise, surprise. Great finish was also a success. Architect pulls in a 70 rating. Logan Wolfsbane with a 69. Now this went perfect, obviously. The storyline advances, gains heat. Architect makes his first defense. We had some great notes for tag team ups. Logan and Architect have pretty good chemistry, which means if we have them fight in the future, we're destined to have good ratings. But the only downside to this, which I'm probably going to pay the price for, is no matter what notes I put on, Logan is not happy that he's lost. He did not want to go over to the Architect, just like Sasquatch did not want to lose to Hangman, but I did it anyway. And obviously when it comes down to the championship and my plans for the title reigns, I'm not going to just change it because someone is unhappy. But I couldn't necessarily change the match, so I had Architect lose cheap, which was going to happen anyway. And I made Logan look strong, but he just as a note, we'll have to keep an eye on it because, yeah, he was extremely unhappy to lose this. So hopefully he doesn't create problems for us backstage, because I think he has a prickly personality. It's not great. Okay, so the show obviously appeared worse because there were pre-show equipment problems, which I actually forgot about already. So I say only pull in a 61, but I mean, that's huge. But it's a shame that it probably would have been higher because our main event did so well. But really good stuff, to be honest. I'm actually going to give this to Logan. It's not, it won't help. We'll praise him on a great performance. And we'll also give it to, we'll do Sasquatch too. We'll do the two who I know. We'll, should we give him a hug? No, it wasn't really, we'll just do a good performance. Yeah, not that it was, but let's see, seemed pleased, which I believe has no effect, so that's what it is. Worker-wise, it's a little bit higher because we used pretty much all of our heavy hitters in terms of money that we pay out. Papa Swole was on here, Logan was on here, Perry, who'd recently got a pay rise, was on the show too. but we do still make money because our ticket prices we're up to almost 3,500. So this was huge. So I'm going to advance ahead here once we're done. Popularity, we don't go up. We already went up this month. But yeah, I'll advance at the end of the month here and we'll quickly go over the finances. And then we'll have a closer in-depth look at all the contracts we currently have out and see if we can maybe get anyone on ironclad written contract deals. Even if we can hold them down to maybe 2 or 3 years, it would be huge. Especially, it means they can't get poached. Essentially, we'll have them for that duration, no matter who offers for them, who comes in, and it also means they won't ask for pay rises. So if we can lock them down early now, especially before we go on Wrestle World, and all their popularity is just going to soar, it's going to start flying, and they're going to start wanting loads of money. If we can do it now, then it'll help us big time with our finances and then for the next couple of years. All right, we are now in July. We can have a quick look at the finances here. We made pretty much around the same as May, about 4,500. Ticket sales are up by over $1,000, which is huge. We're also up about 400 on sponsors, more or less 400 on merchandise. But the big standout thing is the workers' amount we paid has actually gone up a lot, almost pretty much 1,500, which apparently bonuses and perks. I actually don't know what this could be. Obviously, I know this comes down to things like travel costs, but if I'm not mistaken, all of my workers are based in the USA. Yeah, it looks like. Oh, hold on. I think I just saw Japan. Right. So Roger, our new man, because he's on tour, I think, with EX 2010. We only used him on one show though, if I'm not mistaken, and there's no way him alone can make it so that. Yeah, we only used him on one, on the last show of June, so there's no way that's what the cost is. I honestly don't know what this is or what it could be. It seems to be very different every month. I don't think this is all just travel cost, but we haven't offered any other. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm totally stumped. But we won't worry about it too much because we're going to offer some written contracts here in a sec. One thing I do want to try fix, though, is the morale issues. Now, the only thing I can do right now is give them a bonus, give them both a bonus, and hope it helps even just a little bit. Especially to Logan. I don't really care about Sasquatch, but obviously right now we're kind of strapped for cash, but I don't necessarily care about giving them a bonus. I don't care about how much money we have as long as we're making money right now. So let's start with Sasquatch. We will give him a 1,000. So he's angry. He's angry right now. 1,000 bonus. It resulted in a boost to morale. Okay, so now he's just annoyed, which is good. Every little helps. And where is Logan? Because he is someone we don't want. He's also angry. Give him a bonus of 1,000. Resulted in a boost. Now he's just annoyed. Right. We're going to have to be really careful. Logan is kind of soaring a little bit. He fights on Pittsburgh Steel Wrestling and he's one of the major stars there too, along with Ernest. And as you can see here, every month his pop's going up everywhere in America. I mean, he went up 2 points alone in the Great Lakes and he lost. Like, he lost one of the fights he fought on our shows. So it's like, yeah, there's not much we can do. It's just inevitable. He's going to keep going up. And he really, really doesn't obviously want to lose to guys. Considering he didn't want to lose to our champ, it's going to be weird to book him Because one thing I don't want to do, even if we don't use him, fair enough. If we can't use him, I'll accept it. But I cannot let him leave the company on bad morale because he won't want to talk to us again for a really long time, which is the case with Ernest Youngman right now, and obviously with Zomboy and Wicked Lester. That happened, in the duration of time that can last before they're willing to negotiate with you again can be like up to a year, something crazy. But one thing we'll look at next now is our contracts, because I am going to start with everyone I bring into the company. It will be an ironclad written deal, which basically means they won't ask for pay rises, and for the duration of the contract they have under me, under that written deal, they'll stay with me no matter what happens, which is just a good way of a bit more security, I guess. But they'll probably ask for more money. So the reason I'm going to start doing it now is before the demands of my workers per show goes up, because a lot of my guys, I still don't pay loads of money. You know, a lot of them haven't asked for pay rises yet, so this is essentially to stop that. Where the hell? What am I doing? Where the hell is contracts? I cannot speak and click on the buttons at the same time. My God, that was annoying. Right. So Logan gets 185, but his estimated cost is 270. So we're definitely. He's also in. Oh, he's willing to negotiate. Actually, I didn't think he would be, but we're not going to touch Logan for those reasons and with his popularity. Now Papa Swole, champ, he gets 150, but he's valued at 250. So I kind of want him in, but we may have to just leave him for now. It's definitely not something I'll forget though. Sasquatch will leave, Perry will leave, Blue Dragon gets 105 per show, but he's actually worth 90, so we can renegotiate with him right now, actually, and get him for less. So if we do Rin with an iron clause, let's say 2 years, because I believe if we go over 2 years, it then he'll want more money. Let's actually see. Let's see 5. If we wanted him for 5 years, what would you say? If you want me for 5-year written contract, then he wants 1,000. Okay, 1,000. What about 4? 800. Is it going to go down by 2? 500, and then 2 years? Will you accept 90? He will. Right, so let's offer Blue Dragon 1, which is a steal as well, because it's actually less than we're paying him right now, and it means he won't ask for a pay rise. He'll stay at 90. Right, we got a ref, we got some new men. Okay, Davis. We only pay Davis 40, and his estimated cost is 60. Yeah, Davis is one I think I want for sure. Written deal per show. How much does he want for even, let's say 3? For 3 years, he would want 500 as well. But for 2, can we get him for 60? Okay, we'll do him for 2 as well. He means he won't want a pay rise, which when we go in Wrestle World and the pop of our fighters go up a lot, Davis is definitely one who'll rise, and his estimated cost is going to fly up. So the fact we'll have him for the next 2 years on $60 per show is disgusting. But you know, the game's the game. We gotta play it to our advantage sometimes when we can. Okay, Mutant would be another good one. He only wants 62, so let's get him as well. Written deal 60, 2 years with an iron clad clause. I hope I'm doing this right, because in my head I have it. They obviously won't ask for a pay rise. I'm pretty sure people can offer an exclusive deal to them. They can offer them a written deal like I have done, and obviously they're not exclusive to me, so they'll still go with their other promotions. But this just means they'll be in my promotion no matter what for the next 2 years. So it's definitely worth it. Mutant's another big one who'll probably rise to when we go into the broadcasters. So the fact we can get him 160 is huge. What about Miller? What do you want? He only wants 50. Yeah, why not? You know what? We might as well. $50 for 2 years, 10% merchandise. Well, your travel's also not covered. I never looked at that. I probably should have. It's not going to matter though, I guess. Is it? His travel's covered? Nah, it doesn't matter. But maybe we'll turn that off and see if they'll accept it. Was your travel covered? No. Okay, so who else? Blue Dragon was yours? Yours was. Right, fair enough, fair enough. That's on me. Right, who else? That would be at threat of maybe getting poached, I guess. Oh, the architect. We only pay the architect 40. Wow, you only expect 60? I'm surprised. Because he doesn't have pop anywhere else. I think Mid Atlantic Wrestling right now have paused their broadcasting TV show. I don't know why, but I did see a message pop up about there's lots of drama backstage right now at Mid Atlantic Wrestling. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but that would be a steal. Written 2 years. Maybe try not covered. If you're only paying me per show, I definitely need to cover my travel. Right, okay, whatever. For the next 2 years, though, locking him down at $60 a show is, and that's our champion. That's crazy. Right, okay. Hangman would be another good one. He only wants 40 as well. Written 42 years, not covered. Okay, never mind. I feel like if that's already clicked on covered, it's going to be hard to change it. But I'll take that for $40. No one else is really standing out as a sort of must do at the minute. Obviously, when we start making a bit more money, I'll definitely do Pappas Wolves, even though it's $250. We'll definitely do that. Probably maybe at the start of next month, depending on how much we make. But yeah, Blue Dragon, Davis, Mutant, Miller, Mitchell, aka Architect, in Texas, all getting like $90 or less. The reason Blue Dragon was the highest is because of his work in Japan, which is fine. $90 is like nothing still, but that seems like pretty good steals for considering their per show amounts won't budge now for the next 2 years. I think it's pretty good. And going forward with whoever I sign, it'll probably be 2 year written deals because that seems to be the cut off point before you have to raise the amount, which makes sense, of course. But I'll take it. I think that's pretty much it. We don't need too much more to go over. We definitely need to fix our issue with Sasquatch and Logan though. I don't really know how we're going to book Logan. Because it seems even if we book him strong but make him lose, he's not down for it, and his prickly personality is not going to play in well to he takes offence very easily and stuff, so their impact on the backstage environment entirely affects their morale, or reflects their morale, sorry, I can't get my words out. So basically, if he's unhappy, he's going to create an unhappy atmosphere. And we've done quite a good job so far of being very, very drama free on our backstage environment. Logan and Sasquatch are obviously not happy right now with the only two personalities that aren't positive. We really, really honestly don't. We've done a really good job, I think, at not overpaying workers for the most part, and done a really good job of keeping everyone happy. I usually try and avoid signing workers that are negative influences too. I usually always don't really search for them. It's just never really worth it. I only imagine it would be if you were at the top, like like one of the best promotions in the world, and you're signing the best guys in the world. Then maybe you would take the hit. But at this level, there's no need for us to take the hit on anyone. All right, well, I seem to have done a lot more yapping in between episodes with working out a plan at the start of the episode with Marco, getting him sorted, which we did. We've managed to slowly start to fix Sasquatch and Logan as well. So I think we will actually call it here. We'll call this episode here. And we'll try and fire out 4 shows in the next episode since we only managed 2 today. But I'm trying to, every now and then there's sorting out the man management stuff, which obviously I like to keep you guys in the loop rather than keep it all a surprise or whatever. But yeah, it's going really good. We do need to try and sort this out. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. Oh wait, no, yeah, it is. Oh, um, did we? I feel like we offered a bonus to someone last month, right? Or am I tripping? I reckon that's what this was. I totally forgot about that's like a thing, and I think the other amount is maybe the travelling to get Roger from Japan to here, maybe. But there we go. I just answered my own question in the space of about 5 minutes. Sam, you're a genius. How do you do it? But yeah, anyway, I'm actually glad I've clicked on. I knew it would have been something obvious, to be honest, but it's getting late and my brain's not really working properly. But everything's on course. Rest of the world is in our sights. Small size is in our sights. We just need to get the monthly profits over 7,000. So until next time, take it easy, guys. I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I am, and I'll see you on the next episode.